So I've noticed a lot of people suffering lately. And needlessly, because the answers to why people are suffering are there, and the solutions are there. The main reason people are suffering is because human beings are multifaceted creatures. And being healthy is a complete process, a complete chemistry. You have to have your mind in the right place, your psychology. You have to have your heart in the right place, your emotional state. You need to have your body in the right state, healthy. And you need to have your spirituality lined up. And I know a lot of people aren't spiritual, but I also know that even among the unspiritual, statistically, by the time we're elderly, most people believe in something. And I think the reason that is because after we've been alive on Earth long enough, we start realizing there's more going on than meets the eye. Maybe we don't know what it is, maybe we don't have all the answers, but we know something's going on out there. Science proves that the universe is half physical for us and half energetic. There is intangible energy in everything. So whatever form your spirituality takes, whether it's dogmatic, whether it's Zen Buddhist, or even more scientific, doesn't matter. We all believe in something about reality. Now, when it comes to the four major parts of a being, their mind, their heart, their body, and their spirit, the reason people are suffering is because they're neglecting one or more of these aspects of who they are. When we don't work on our psychology is weak and unstable. It means others can manipulate us, control us, and destroy us more easily. When our emotions are not under control, it's us who destroys everything. When we're not in control of our own emotions. When your body's not healthy, your chemistry isn't working right. You're not eating right. You're not sleeping right. You're not exercising right. And you don't feel right throughout the day. And your chemistry is out of balance. While your chemistry is out of balance, you can better believe none of the other systems, like your mind or your emotions, are going to be regulated properly. And finally, your spirituality. When we don't take the time to understand spirituality, to understand our greater place in the universe and why we're here, when we don't do that, we neglect the inner voice that is reaching out to us and asking us to live. Now, why do I say that? Because all spirituality is truly about is living. That's it. It's about living and living well. A lot of people say the good book can be summed up in 2 words. Be good. Be good. And they're right. Everybody makes such a big deal out of spirituality, and they overthink all the plumbing, and they analyze every word in the books. None of it matters. It doesn't matter what the books say. It doesn't matter what the people said. It doesn't matter if God's real or not. It doesn't matter if the devil's real or not. It doesn't matter if there's a war between light and dark in the souls of men and in the heavens. It doesn't matter if none of that exists. What matters isn't the past. It isn't the future. What matters is what you're going to do with your life. What you're going to do with this moment. What you're going to do with the people in your life when you interact with people. Spirituality is about morality, simply and purely. We all know what's cruel. We all know what's right and wrong. Very few people don't. And the ones who do are psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic. But those are psychological pathologies that start somewhere in our lives, typically from trauma and damage. And the reality is even though they don't see them the same, they know what's right and wrong too. They may not understand why you don't murder and eat somebody, but they know it's wrong, at least by society standards. When we neglect our spirituality, when we neglect the place we fit into in society, in our familial groups, in our friendship groups, when we neglect the spiritual choice we have every day, and that choice, what am I going to do? Someone nearby me is suffering. What am I going to do about that? I'm suffering. What am I going to do about that? Problems need solutions. What am I going to do about that? And am I going to complain? Am I going to blame everybody else? Why? The truth is, blaming everybody else doesn't solve anything. Maybe it was so-and-so's fault. But that doesn't change the reality you find yourself in. And that doesn't change what you could do to get out of it. You know, part of spirituality is realizing no matter where we find ourselves, there's always a way out. Part of spirituality is understanding that there's morality to that. To trying, even in the face of failure. To standing back up again, even when we feel guilt and shame. There's morality in it. Because if you can't be kind to yourself, why would you expect anybody else to be kind to you? And if you don't practice being kind to yourself, how do you expect to be good at being kind to others? Spirituality isn't about magic and entities and prayer or dogmatic prayer. It's not what it's about. Spirituality is about understanding who you are, your place in the world, and the value you hold. The value we each hold. You know what I'd love to get rid of? What I think is one of the most poisonous statements in the entire world? The average Joe. What if I told you that's the lie? That's the lie you've lived with your whole life. There is no average Joe, and you're not it. Everybody is somebody. Everybody can be somebody. You just have to embrace yourself, believe in yourself, and realize it's true. We all make impact on the people in our lives, our families, our friends, the people we work with, strangers, enemies. But we all hold value to the world. We all make a major impact. And when you neglect your spirituality and you neglect looking at the larger place you play in life, you limit yourself from the possibilities of what you could be. You are so much more than you realize. So much more. We all suffer. The Buddhists think to live is to suffer. I beg to differ. To live is to accept. And when you accept reality for what it is, you accept how you feel about that reality, and you accept you can do something to change that reality, then there's no bounds to what you can do. There's no limitation. And there is no more suffering. It's not that I still don't go through obstacles in life, but they don't cause me to suffer because I accept them, I'm prepared for them, and I'm committed to working my way through them no matter what it takes. One of the things spirituality teaches us is acceptance. Because it's not in the words, it's not in the books. It's in the more true lessons. I love the Bible for one reason. As far as I can tell, as a man who's encountered many problems and created many, every lesson under the sun a man could learn, they could learn from that book. But like the internet, you have to learn to decipher what's valuable information. The internet is full of information, but it's not all knowledge. And the Bible tells a lot of stories, but the only thing that really matters is the morals in those stories. It doesn't matter who did what. It doesn't matter when they did it. What matters is what we can take away from those lessons. Compassion, love, patience, forgiveness. The truth is, if you're suffering, you don't have to. And if you're done suffering, then maybe it's time to reach out for a hand. Maybe it's time to ask for help. Or maybe it's time to shed the old you and be brave. There are 4 major parts to the human being: your mind, your heart, your body, and your spirit. If you support all 4 of these pillars, problems or not, you will find that your ability to manage, handle, overcome, and maintain those problems becomes on par with none. I'm Minister Luke. Have a blessed day.